Here we on air. Good morning, Fernando.
Good evening, Eti, and good evening, friends.
Good morning and good evening, friends. We are very happy that you're here. Today, I thought to start with one verse from the book of Samuel and a painting and see how we look or read the Bible in an abstract way. And here I see Ruth. Good morning, Ruth. I hope that you...
Morning, Etty. Good morning, Fernando.
How are you today, Ruth?
Good, I'm good.
Good.
I'm good, thank you very
Good
much.
morning, Ruth.
Good to hear your voice. And here we are at the whiteboard. And we have one verse from Samuel. Do you see the board, Ruth? Do you have an access to it?
I should be able to get an access in a few moments. It just takes a little while here.
Okay. Thank you. And here is Rodrigo. Good morning, Rodrigo. I hope you can hear us, Rodrigo.
Hello, Rodrigo.
Can you hear us, Rodrigo? Maybe not yet.
Modo auxiliar.
The microphone is working. Fernando, do you see the whiteboard?
Yes.
This is a little painting, a student
Yes,
by...
I'm here, Eti.
Yes? Yes. Thank you so much. So at the whiteboard we see a painting by a student of Rembrandt. It's from the 17th century. Let's get closer. I see Rodrigo on the whiteboard. Let's get closer. And I see Rachel. Good morning. On YouTube. And do you see the painting? Rodrigo? I hope he could have a microphone soon.
Hello, Etty.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. Yes, the whiteboard is open to me, and I'm ready to follow you and to talk with our friends. It's very nice to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And here we shall read a little verse from Samuel 1. Samuel 1, chapter 2, verse 19. This is a Hebrew first. Fernando, can you read please the Hebrew and then the English? We shall, share the reading. Can you please read the Hebrew?
Okay. Okay. Samuel 1, 2,
Yeah.
verse 19. Umeil katan taselo imo veha alta lo miyamim yamima balota et isha Lisboa et Zavar Chayamim.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Rodrigo, can you please read the English verse?
Yes, Etty. Samuel 1, chapter 2, verse 19. Moreover, his mother made him a little robe and brought it to him from year to year, when she came up with her husband to offer the early sacrifice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And good morning, Felipe. We're very happy that you're here. This little verse is from the book of Samuel, describes how Hannah, in English her name is Anna, her name in Hebrew is Hannah. She prepared a coat for her son Samuel. I would like to write her name in Hebrew because her name also reflects a certain sphere. One second, this is a very thick pen, it does not fit. Hannah. This is also because the board is 100%, everything has to be adapted. Let's do it one. Hannah. In English her name is Anna. And she prepared a coat for her son Samuel. The Bible says in Hebrew, Ume'il katon, little coat. Let's look into the painting a bit. When you think or when you hear the term little coat, regardless of the painting, what comes to your mind? Even in the story, when we read the words little coat, what comes to the mind?
The image of little clothes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
something made to keep warm.
Yes. Good. Good. Felipe, when you hear the words little coat, what comes to your mind?
Hello, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, good morning.
Good evening, good morning. Little coat. The first thing I remember is the coat of many colors.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Felipe. It's too low. Please, if you could
Oh,
increase your sound, please.
yes. I hear. I remembered about the coat of many colors, the
Mm-hmm.
blessing of Joseph.
That's beautiful. The coat of many colors. Good. And good morning, Shelton. We're very happy that you're here. Now,
Good morning, Shalom.
we're very happy that you're here. Today we're reading Samuel. And I think you like the story about Samuel, as long as I remember. We read one verse about Anna, the mother of Samuel, making him a little coat. And I was asking, what does the term little coat sounds like or feels like or means to?
I can see yes, I can see it, but my connection is unstable, I think.
Okay, because I don't have at the moment connection at all. I don't see the whiteboard at all.
Yeah, for me, it's disconnected.
It is disconnected. Okay. Checking the connection. Running. Let's see what we can do. It's not clear. I'm sorry, but at the moment I don't think that I can do something. I'll try, but I know we're loading the troubleshooter. So I will speak like from the heart because I cannot access the whiteboard at the moment. But if I just think about another way to... Fernando, can you take the conversation and I'll try to take care of things here? Is it possible to speak about... Here it comes, I think. Here it comes. I think it's loading. Luria says that little coat refers to the 6 spheres. Again, little coat refers to the 6 spheres, or Sfirat Tiferet. And he says, why little coat? 1 second, here we have it. Here I have, the whiteboard is back. מעיל קטון, little coat. Vak. Fernando, when you read, or people who read Luria, when you see the term Vak, Vav, Kof, Vav Ktsavot, 6 edges, it means the 6 spheres. Again, this is what it means, the 6 spheres, or the Vav, or the spirit. Little coat. Luria said that little coat is referring to the 6 spheres, which means that the 3 upper spheres are not included. Little coat means a coat without a hat. Little coat is a dressing without a hat. Do we understand this kind of thinking? Little coat, we would say in like modern English, it's maybe a jacket without a hat, which is connected to the back. Little coat is the 6 lower spheres, parallel to Vav, parallel to the spirit. Little coat meaning the 6 spheres of Tiferet, or without the gar, the 3 upper spheres. Did you hear the term gar, Gimel Rishonot, the 3 upper spheres? Yes. So little coat means Vak, Vav Ktsavot, Tiferet, without the 3 upper spheres. Those are considered to be the mochin, the mind, or the head, the 3 upper spheres. So little coat is a coat without a hat.
Or maybe a hood. In English, you might say without a hat or a hood.
Yes, without a head or a hood. Excellent. This is considered to be a little coat. A little coat. Now the question is, does the Bible speak about the term little coat because there's a little child, or the Bible speaks about spiritual height?
About spiritual height.
Yes, about spiritual height.
Like Luria speaks that not even a letter in the Bible it's for granted. It is to talk about common things, right?
Yes. It's not about, the Bible does not describe as fashion in which people used to dress their children and bring them to the temple in Shiloh. So this is not a fashion. So this is a spiritual height. The spiritual height, it means that when Hannah brings her son Samuel to the temple in Shiloh, to Eli, the high priest, she dresses him with a dress, or a coat that fits his spiritual height. His spiritual height at the moment of the deliverance is 6 spheres of spirit, of the heart. Now I would like to look into the name Hannah and see what is her place in the tree of life, as Luria speaks about it. Hannah. What is the value of Hannah?
63.
Yes, 63. Does it remind you something, this sum?
In Hana, the tetragrammaton spelling.
Yes, very good. Binah, the tetragrammaton spells with the different feelings of Yod and Aleph. Sag, name Sag, 63. So Hana is here in Binah. 63. Anna or Hana. And Hana is here, or in the 8th day, and she makes her son Samuel little coat that will fit his spiritual height, the Vav. Do we understand how Luria reads those the name and the words of the Bible? Do we understand this kind of thinking?
Yes, it is beautiful. And could we put in this diagram the high priest as well?
Yes. Where would you? No, yes. Please locate the high priest.
What left is Chokhmah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And we could also say that the temple is Malhut, where they are.
Yes.
I don't know.
Let's
Just wondering.
Yes, 1 second. So the high priest, 1 second, is Chokhmah Shelton. See Shelton. High priest's name is here Eli. Eli with the letter Ain. Eli. In English it's with E. Eli. Chokhmah, wisdom. And here there's a Malchut and the temple. Second.
One
Yes.
more thing that came to me is about the name Hana.
Yes.
That we can take the word grace, right? So
Yes.
it's the ability to bless, to give grace, to maybe this little quote is like a blessing. It is like that we all receive, right?
Yes.
It is our garment to
Yes.
live in this world.
Yes. This is true. And after the deliverance of Samuel, because she was she did not deliver children before she prayed, and Samuel came, and after she dedicates Samuel and brought him to the high priest, she was given with 5 more additional children. So, as you said, Fernando, just to how do you say, to bring forth your words, Hana is Chet and Nun, Chokhmat and Istar, the hidden wisdom. Or 58, and with additional hay. And after giving birth of Samuel and bringing him to the temple, she was granted with 5 children. The Bible says. Questions so far?
And to you, I think you talked a few days ago about the garment as a perspective that
Yes.
someone takes in the garment.
Yes.
Can you make the connection with the coat and the garment that you shared the last time? I think maybe a week or 2 ago.
Garment, yes. We were speaking about garment or malbushei, levushei amochin, the way we think. So, when we think about garment, is not external garment, is the way we think or the way we address the world. So if Hannah made her son Samuel a little coat, garment that fits in a way the 6 spheres, it means Samuel already has the mindset of the spirit, meaning this is why he's also brought into the temple, because his spiritual height fits the highest priest. The highest priest in this case is Eli. Eli is the highest priest or the father. Depends of how there are many ways to describe this story. He is the father, the spiritual father, or the Yod. When Samuel in this case is the Vav, the spirit. When Anna is Binah, understanding. So we have like few letters of the tetragrammaton. We have the Yod here of Eli, the high priest. This is, sorry, the ink is too white. We have Yod of the high priest. We have Hannah as Binah, the mother. We have Samuel as the Vav. Samuel and his dressing as the Vav or as the sun in terms of spirit or Tiferet. And we have the Hay of Malchut, the temple, as Fernando mentioned.
I think it's interesting based on what you said, that both Samuel and Joseph received a coat,
Yes,
and they received it from their parents. And if Joseph received his from his father, then he received the wisdom that he needed to carry out his destiny, his future calling as a man. But he received it as a child, and his brothers didn't understand what had already been invested on him.
mm-hmm.
A vested truth. It's just kind of a thing that happens formally later in life for many people. They get certain robes to signify their important status, maybe as a judge or something like this, right?
Yes,
So I
yes,
think it's interesting what you're saying about this cult and the thinking and what it reflects about our future destiny if we have a specific way of thinking thrust upon us, right?
yes. Thank you.
Yes, I have one question following this idea from Shelton about this rope, and I will make a direct question to be easy. When we read the verse, it is said miyamim yamima, right?
Yes.
Like year to year. It is translated like year to year.
Yes.
And since you brought Luria, he uses to speak a lot about the Gilgulim, the reincarnations, which in this case I would like to think about the different garments that we use through one life here, one experience here, because I'm just wondering here it first the what does it mean, this yamim yamima, and also if we could relate this with the different garments that we have to use through our lives, because sometimes we change our garments. It is needed to be changed, I think also.
Yes. So there are two questions. what does it mean, mia mim, mia mima? Yes, and that through all the course of our life, we're changing our garments. This is true. We're changing not just the way, it's not just external dressing. We're changing the way that we relate to the world around us, and we relate to ourselves and life in general. Yes. Miyamim, Yamima, Miyamim is 140. Can you check the letters? Miyamim, Yamima is 145.
Yes,
Yes.
140.
140, the ancient, yes.
But Yamima is 115 without the 4. Yamima is 105. The second word.
The second 5. Okay, this is okay. Thank you. 105. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Mia Mima. Again, Fernando, what is your question? Hello?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Can you ask your question again? Because I looked into the numbers. You asked me if we change the dressing of our through the course of our life.
Yes. I am so sorry because I had lost connection for a moment, and this was the question. Yes, the importance of changing our garments, because it seems that this Hana, this Binah, this element of grace, makes takes new garments like year to year, or I don't know. I don't know how could we approach to this idea.
Yeah, because this is what the English says. Yes. She brought from year to year. This is interesting because 105 and 140 is 245. Rodrigo?
Yes, 245.
245. This is the term Miyamim Yamima. Miyamim Yamima, when in Hebrew the English says from year to year, but in Hebrew Miyamim Yamima, it's from the first days. And when we turn it and we give it a numerical value, this is what comes. When Miyamim is 140, Yamima 105, together 245. 2 times 45 is 90. Or the expression is 45 as the spirit, as the feeling of the tetragrammaton with the letter Aleph. Here we see this, or Adam, human. So, and just to answer Fernando's dressing, the spirit is something which is abstract, but Hannah brings something from the spirit and managed to give or to dress her son. And the dressing, the garment she brings her son, is something that fits the spirit. Because here we have a mirror. This is the firmament, as Felipe mentioned it 2 sessions ago. This is the hidden or the abstract, and this is the manifested.
I don't know what it could mean, but it's really interesting, this word Yamima. I see 4 times the word me and one word for ma.
Yes.
Four times who and one time what.
Yamima, let's open it. Let's check another color, it will be better. Yamima. So how many me did you find? Me 1, me 2.
One is the final man and the
Yes,
first
opposite. Yes, me, another me, and ma. So 4 times who?
It's interesting that the word me stands for Binah and Ma, it's 45. And it's interesting. The me, the Binah appears 4 times, and the Ma, the Adam, it appears 1 time.
True.
It's also a relation 1 to 4, right?
Yes, excellent. It's 1 to 4. When ma is the 1 and me, who, is 4 times.
And connected with what Fernando asked, I was wondering that this robe, this coat Hannah made for Samuel, from year to year, she didn't change that cloth, I guess. It mentioned 1 cloth, 1 robe, and many years. So what could we think about this? Meaning, I guess this cloth is like it's something that suits for the spirit for generations to generation. It is like an infinite garment.
Yes. Yes. Infinite garment. Yes.
I was thinking, Felipe, about what you said, just to bring one more element, because it is very different reading from the Hebrew and from English, this year to year, or from the beginning of the years, right?
Yes.
The early days. I was wondering if we could think that we have this garment that is a potential, that is our gift from the heaven, right? That we need to dress it here, like the aleph that you draw. And year to year we appear to the temple to see if it fits, if we are respecting this, if if we fit to this garment that was made for us, or if we are wearing other things that is not for us, you know, like our personal gift, our vocation, or something like this.
Yeah, I was thinking, Fernando, what you were saying in regards to David and Goliath, when David was to fight Goliath, and he he did not accept the garment or the outer garments that they wanted him to wear because he was unaccustomed to it.
Great.
The other thing
Yes.
the other thing I thought about and during the conversation is um I think I heard Eddie mention, but maybe not the Ancient of Days, which is another term for Ein Sof, or the Eternal.
Yes.
And I looked in Daniel chapter 7 verse 9. It says, um, which the Ancient of Days is mentioned 3 times in Daniel. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. And the other point I wanted to make briefly was that uh, in science, the light, which I'm thinking of snow as kind of a light, light has all of the colors. It has all the colors and the primary colors that we need to make all the others. Those are just some thoughts as we've been talking.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes. Because the quote, anyway, from Daniel says that the dressing, our garment, all of us, is coming from the Ancient of Days. And the white color contains all colors. So the garment that Hannah was bringing her son Samuel was the garment that comes from Incense. Or, if we look at the tree, which sphere is mentioned or we think about as Incense?
Get
Keter. Excellent. Keter. Questions or thoughts? If I may say one comment about the painting, this is a student of Rembrandt who's painting this painting. At the first time when I saw it, I said to myself that the features of Eli the priest are reminding me another feature in another painting, and there is a painting that is considered to be Rembrandt's painting about the feast of Ahasuerus, when Esther participates in the Ahasuerus and Haman, they're sitting to the table at in one evening, one feast. And once I read that there is like a dispute or argument who paint this feast of Ahasuerus. Was it Rembrandt or his student that we see his painting? And the moment that I saw this painting of Hannah and her son Samuel and the face of Eli, I remember the feast of Ahasuerus, and it seems that a student of Rembrandt painted this picture because it's the same features. Just a little remark considering art.
Amazing.
I think it's interesting in the painting. The light is to the right of the king that's sitting on the throne, and there's a special place. It looks like there's a special platform for the book, and behind the book there's light, and the light is manifest onto the child and onto the mother, and the mother seems to be looking towards the light, but the child is not yet able to bear the light. The child's face is actually uh, uh, directed away from the light and the king at the same time.
So the diagonal that you see is like the Vav here. So you see the direction of the light is like here, yes? Something. This is the chord of light that you notice. Do you see the painting, Shelton, I
Yeah,
just made? So
yes, I can see it.
this is the Vav. This is the Vav.
It is a great insight, Shelton, and the kid is showing his back to the king. You know, he's not ready yet
Mhm.
to face it face to face.
Right.
And on the left side we see the red heifer that was
Yes.
a topic here as like the darkness, the full manifestation, right? The
Yes.
Sophite letters and everything, like being the opposite of the light. And
It's interesting though that the adults, the man to the right and the woman, she's on her knees, but she seems to be, if you will, showing reverence towards the light, not necessarily towards the king. In many of these paintings you see it's kind of a homage to the king, honoring of the king, but it seems like there's a greater, if you will, reverence for the light that is beyond the king.
It is interesting what you're saying because Eli, which is sitting on the throne, is a high priest and he is symbolizes wisdom. Here, symbolizes wisdom, and wisdom is machshava, thought. The value of machshava, do you remember? Thought, 355, like Pharaoh, like a lunar cycle. We could say that wisdom,
we
yes,
cannot see.
yes, Fernando.
No, just that we cannot see. We are not able to see where our thoughts came, right?
Yes, yes,
From where they came.
yes.
I've noticed in many of the classical European paintings there is this light that tends to emanate from somewhere in the room, and it's kind of a way of focusing our attention on what the artist sees as important, And it seems like the most important person in this painting is Samuel, and even his his garment is white. But he's small, but his garment is white, and the light is projected down onto him.
That's true. Yes, Fernando.
I'm sorry. I was just seeing also the incense here. That
Yes.
it, what the kid sees is only the good fragrance, what he feels, the smell of the the good smell is all that he has to be in relationship with the wisdom here. It seems.
Yes. Yes.
And the mother, of course, and the mother.
The good smell is rising, and a good smell is always has to do with the nose or with Vav, with the letter Vav, because the smell is something when we smell, our nostrils notice a good smell, we immediately wake, something inside of us is waking up. And when people, like let's say they don't feel good and we give them a good smell, they immediately wake up from, if they are like fainting or something and we give them a good smell, they immediately wake up because the soul has a remembrance.
Yeah, it's interesting that the artist put the incense there, and the light is. It's interesting. It's hard to know where the light is coming from because there's light inside. There's a lightness inside the container. There's light where you would expect to see a shadow, and to the side of the container at the base of the painting, there's light there. So you're wondering, where is the light coming from? Is it coming from within the fragrance? And I'm thinking, even though it's a painting, it's almost like the artist wants you to know that you're not able to smell the incense, but I want you to know that it's very much a part of the what's happening in this painting, in this scene, right? It's kind of like a projection outside of the dimensions of the artist's ability to uh, to capture, really.
It's interesting because it is very good what you said, Chilton, because Samuel has a white little coat and he looks into to what will come as a good smell and will rise and fit the Vav, and good deeds also. Good deeds are parallel to the Vav. When he doesn't notice the high priest, as you mentioned, he stands with a back relation to the wisdom, the Vav. This is not just Samuel, little Samuel here, but the Vav or Tiferet turns to the world, Chesed turns to the world, while wisdom or the high priest here, Eli, is in the darkness or Olam Atzilut. Do you see all of those connections? Because Olam Atzilut is hidden, Atzilut from its law in his realm, because Olam Atzilut is hidden, it is considered to us as darkness. What is revealed to us considered to be light. What is not revealed to us or hidden considered to be darkness. So Samuel now stands like with the back to the high priest or with the back to the wisdom, to the thoughts, because he has a face-to-face relation with the world. He will do grace. He has the little coat with the spirit, with the incense, while the high priest Eli is another realm. the high priest will give him initiation to become a Yod. Now he is a Vav, Samuel, but the intention that he will grow up and the three upper spheres will be part of him, and he will be a Yod. From the son, he will be the father, or hegemonical.
Now, the fragrance, the incense represents again empty.
The Vav, or the spirit, in
Spirit.
the human face, our nose is the longer part, like the Vav. It's a longer vertical line, vertical like the spirit. Like in Pythagoras triangle, we have a vertical line, the three in a way. This is the spirit. So we can think about the Vav as good deeds, and good deeds always, the source speaks about good deeds as their rising smell. What does it mean? They cause good intention in the world, rising smell. It's not so much about physical smell, but it's something that we bring back home, our good deeds, like the story that Fernando was telling us on Shabbat about the king that asked his assistant to make a list of what he has, and he says, on Monday I helped the children cross the river, and so good deeds. Because good deeds are always standing against the law of gravity. Material will always be attracted, or the law of gravity will work on him. To do a good deed, this is in a way gratuitously, is always against the law of gravity. It needs a spirit, it needs a motivation. Shelton?
Yeah, I was looking at the child in Samuel. His left hand is down, but his right hand seems to be reaching towards the fragrance, the incense. And I was thinking perhaps even as a child, not only was he given the coat, but he was also given the innate ability to prioritize the spirit realm. That he's reaching towards that which is invisible, which is eternal, the spirit. You know.
Yes, that's true. Thoughts? Questions? Felipe, Rodrigo, Fernando, Ruth, would you like to say something?
Yes, just a comment on often, Rembrandt's paintings, and this one, if it's one of his students, he emphasizes always what he wants the viewer to look at by putting it in light. And I have one print of his pictures here, and there's actually no external light coming into the room of the picture, but he demonstrates that the light is coming out of the person rather than just being reflected on the person. So when I look at this, I see the light is coming out of the incense, and it's coming out of the child, and it's coming out of the mother, because their faces are lit up. And the one tall figure there has some light on his face behind the mother. He has some light, but not a lot. And maybe that was one of his sons, maybe one of the sons of Eli, maybe. But when I look at this and I look at who has the light and who doesn't have the light, it tells me a lot. And I see the pillar in the background, which I think is more within the temple. There's a lot of light there within the temple on the back left. So when I look at Rembrandt, I'm always looking for the light to reflect what either he is trying to impress upon the viewer of the picture. And the little boy is clearly, he stands out terrifically. Even the white of his garment is more white than the white, for example, on the sleeve of Eli. It's very white, and it's whiter than the collar of the mother, and it's whiter than the ruff of the tall person standing there. So it's clearly the focus is on Samuel continually, and he's not looking at anybody. He's not even looking at his mother. He's looking straight at the incense. That's my comment.
Thank you so much. It's so beautiful what you said.
Thank you.
It is amazing, Ruth. Thank you, Ruth. Eti, could you speak about this reflected light? Maybe?
Yes.
Because it is a concept for itself in the tradition, and I would like to listen from you if you could open.
Yes. Thank you. There's like two terms, Or Yashar, directed light, and reflected light, Or Choser. Or Yashar, the directed light, comes from the creator or the source of creation. It is always makes us, all of us, humans, plants, birds, everything, be alive, exist. This is the source, Or Yashar. Or Yashar, the direct light, never stops. It is infinite. This is what comes and makes us walk, breathe, inhale, rise, smile, and so. The sources or the sages speaks about reflected light or choser, meaning, of course, we are receivers. Every flower receives the light and blooms, and so, and the trees, they make photosynthesis, and so. But what do we bring back? We receive life, we receive oxygen, we receive the ability to speak, but what do we do? What do we do with it? If we manage to understand that this light is being given to us with grace, what we do, our actions, considered to be Or Choser, reflected light, we reflect in our behavior in the world the fact that we understand that everything is given to us with love. Or Choser, reflected light, are the good deeds that we manage to produce while recognizing that we are receiving infinite light.
Amazing, thank you, Eti.
Thank you, Eti. I was thinking, and I thank you as well, Ruth. I was thinking about what you said about the light, that we're both, at the same time, we are light receivers, we're light bearers, we're carrying light, and we're light sharers. We're sharing the light. And as Ruth was talking about the painting, I was thinking about just the idea, even before, this idea of where are the shadows? because some of the shadows of various things are not where they see would you would expect them to be. They are the darkness is sometimes on one side, or the shadow may be on the other side of an object. And I was trying to also thinking about something I heard on Saturday, and it made me think about the idea of liminal space, the place between night and day, between darkness and light. There's a transition period where some of the darkness isn't as dark and some of the light isn't as light, and that I will refer to that as a liminal space. And
Mm-hmm.
just quickly, I wanted to share a definition that I heard I read on Saturday that really made me think about also discussions we've had over time. It says the word liminal comes from the Latin word limen, meaning threshold, any point or place of entering or beginning. A liminal space is a time between what was and the next. It is a place of transition, a season of waiting and not knowing. Liminal space is where all transformation takes place. If we learn to wait and let it form us.
Thank you. You reminded me of crepuscular animals that they appear in the dawn or in the dark, at the dusk. In those moments of changing, if we notice, the sun in the morning does not come immediately. There are like a range of time that slowly, slowly we see different gradients of light coming until the sun is fully there in the sky. And so in the sunset when the evening comes as well. It's completely a range of many, many colors also in relation to the seasons of the year. It is full spectrum. Questions?
It is the holding of the opposites, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
I have one. It is
Yes.
just. I was wondering if we think that all these personages are oneself.
Mm.
You know, like we are not seeing different persons, but only one human here, one tree of life. And the one who is looking outside is the little boy, you know, who is standing for the visible, for what we see. And the high priest is in the shadow. And I'm just wondering here if it came to me the idea that to act in the world, we need to act as little child, like we've uh, we've seen that everything is beautiful, you know, being amazed with the manifested as we can as a little child. And when we act like this, we are what is in the shadow in fact is the wisdom, is the wisdom and understanding. Maybe is the we could see to the world could see a little child, but what is manifesting in the darkness is the wisdom and understanding. What people cannot see, it is what lies beyond the manifesting. I don't know if I make
That's
myself clear.
that's correct. That's correct. That you you define it beautifully and clearly. Yes. Yes.
Fernando, I appreciate what you said, and what I thought about was that sometimes as children, everything is new. And so there's a sense of wonder that sometimes as adults, we kind of lose it. Not all of us, but I think we lose it over time. Maybe life events, life itself, we lose this spark of treating all of creation as a wonderful gift and as something to be celebrated on a regular basis.
Yes, Shelton, it was, I was trying to say, it is just like this. And it is interesting because if we act with this enthusiasm, but this good enthusiasm, I'm saying that to see that everything is a miracle, maybe the one who is looking at us acting like this will tend to think that this person is naive, or it is somebody that, you know, it is like a little child, even could take part of it, you know.
And even I think Fernando, the mother, is very much a part of this because she has been a child and now she's a mother, and she's passing on this gift of wonder that you're speaking of, and she's making sure that he is, if you will, trained up. He's raised up. There's I think a book of wisdom. It says Proverbs, train up a child in the way that they shall go, and when they become old, they will not depart from it. She is, if you will, stewarding this amazing process of seeing life as a gift and all of creation as a wonder.
Thank you. Rose, did you want to say something?
Yes, I'm looking at the picture, and I'm just looking at the ox on the right hand side of the picture,
Mm-hmm.
and find it's interesting that the artist has put the ox there.
Mm-hmm.
He seems very stable, secure, and he seems to be looking at the incense too. He's not moved by anyone that's in the building there, and I just think he's a strong figure representing something. I just think it's interesting that there's an ox there.
It is. It is. One would not expect to find an ox in a temple alive. Usually people sacrifice, so to speak. But what does an ox does in this moment?
And thank you so much for that, Ruth. It reminds me of Noah. He not only had his family, but he had all of the animals that we have, right? He celebrated the all of creation in terms of the animal kingdom, which we're a part of, by the way. It's-
Yes.
And one last thing
Yes.
is about the mother that Shelton had spoken. Had speak. She's looking. It seems that she's looking to the Torah.
Yes.
It is not a direct. It is not a direct relationship with the high priest. Maybe she's looking at the Torah, and the Torah is the triangle that permits the communication between them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the priest is looking to her directly, but she is looking at the light and the Torah. And it's interesting also that, like Ruth said, the light is coming from that side, and it meets the Torah, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
it is beyond the Torah,
Yes. Yes.
The Torah. Maybe it's what the Torah is pointing.
True.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Fernando. It's almost like she's looking towards the Torah, she's reading it, and she's acting on it by caring for son and putting this garment on him. She's doing what Etty was talking about earlier. She's acting out her faith.
Rose, comment about the bull or about the cow reminds me something about if we look at the hoof of a cow here, it has a split hoof. Do we see that? That the cow here has a split hoof? Do you see this on the right side? That the cow has a split
Yes.
hoof? You.
Yes.
So
Yes.
a cow is one, not just cow, also sheep and goats. They have split hooves, and it's, so to speak, a kosher animal to eat if people eat still animals. But what does it reflect inside of us? What does a cow and a split hoof reflect inside? The duality. Interesting. A cow, the cow choose, how do you say, to chew twice. The cow, when she eats the grass, the green grass, she is chewing it twice, not just once, chewing it and swallowing, and this is it, the process, so to speak, but she is chewing it twice. And also she has split hooves, meaning this is a process which is also reflected in us as human, meaning not to take in everything that we are fed from the world. It's not just, the story now is not just about a cow that chews twice the green grass. It's also about us, the cow in us. When the world offers us food, what do? We just put it inside, chew, and let's say digest. Or it's not about even physical food. What do we do with the food or the feast that life put in front of us? Do we storm and shovel everything inside like a wild beast? Or we take it little by little and we chew twice? The fact that the cow has a split hoof reflects in us the ability to return the direct light as a reflected light through good deeds. Cows, sheep, and goats, those are considered to be kosher animals. They're innocent. They will not attack. They're not wild animals. They're not beasts. They're innocent. And people in generations, through the generations, were allowed to eat, so to speak, from those a bit, because they're innocent. They will not harm anyone. They will not attack anyone. And the way that they chew and the fact that they have split hooves reflected in us the ability to return to the source with good deeds and not to consume everything which is offered to us without inspecting it. This is what the cow here or the bull might also symbolize.
Thank you very much for that explanation. Thank you. That's very interesting. Because, one could say that Samuel, or the spirit within Samuel, the Samuel type, certainly did exhibit the quality of being able to chew and spit out what wasn't good, or reflect the good deeds after he thought about after he thought about what he's doing. Same with us too. Just get rid of or spit out the bad deeds. That's very nice.
Thank you, Ruth, because now you reminded me that Philon from Alexandria, he also wrote about the cow, and when I will arrive to this part, he writes about those animals broadly, what they do reflect inside of us. And when I shall arrive in my reading to this part, I will share it in class. What each and every animal reflects inside of us as human, what quality this animal reflects inside of us.
Thank you.
Thinking, as you've been talking, I was thinking about the Noah. I think the animals came in 2 by 2. But also, when we look at our food, we look at how we use our 2 nostrils and our 2 eyes. To first, they say that eating begins with the nose, not with the tongue,
Mm-hmm.
and also what we see. But then I also thought when you were talking about the cow chews with two times chewing and 2 hooves, the the letters of the Hebrew alphabet 22.
Yes.
It's the significance of the 2 by 2 or the 22.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Thank you. Rodrigo, would you like to say something?
Just to thank you, and thank you all our friends, because we have a great conversation today. I learned a lot with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Fernando, question. Felipe, question.
Just thank you, Eti. It was amazing, and thank you all the friends.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Felipe, Fernando, Rodrigo, Ruth, Shelton, Leah here on YouTube. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Leah. And we can meet here next Monday, or even before, depends what will come. Wishing you a very good life, infinite life with grace and love. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom,
Thank you very
shalom.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.